Utah State, I think they've got a chance to be a top 25 team before the year's up. You go up and down their schedule, they've played some good teams. They should have really beat Wisconsin. They missed a field goal at the end of the game, or they, and it wasn't that difficult a one. They played good teams, and they beat San Jose State very sound. They're playing well in conference play. Got a little streak going there. Coach Williams is in his third year, which I think you can kind of tell that he's in year three. They've recruited well, they're coaching well, their players are playing really hard, they're staying healthy for the most part. So this is a tough team we're going to play Saturday. We're going to have to play our best. People are having trouble scoring on them. They've only given up 2 rushing touchdowns all year, ranked very highly in defense. Their quarterback, Chucky Keaton, and their tailback both are explosive players. Got a good offensive line, pretty solid in the kicking game. So this is a nice, well-rounded team that is playing good and playing at home, and it'll be a good test. You know, he runs and throws, and he's fast. He's a good runner. You know, he's been an efficient passer. You got to play both. He does both of them well. They're protecting him good. They're moving him around well. They get him in some bootlegs and things where he can run it or throw it. He's running the zone read, and he's made a long run or two doing that for a touchdown. So he's got good speed. There's no doubt about that. So he's a good dual-purpose quarterback. Anytime you face a quarterback that can scramble around and buy time in the pocket, you know, the thing that can happen sometimes is you think he's going to run, he hasn't broken the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden then he throws it and it turns into a big play. We've got to contain him as best we can and try to get some kind of resemblance of a pass rush, which we've been a little negligent in, obviously. You know, we can't come out of coverage too quick with this guy, that's for sure. Though usually, you know, when he makes his mind up to run, he's going to run, you know. Well, you know, I think we're getting a little closer in some intangibles, physicalness, mental toughness, focus, the things that you have to do to win tough games at this level. You know, I mean, 20-17 at half, we didn't respond in the second half as well as we wanted to, but good first half. We put ourselves in a good position on the road and had a chance and just didn't quite get it done against a good team. It's always a one-game season. You know, you have to understand that, you know, losses should hurt, and I think that one did, but, you know, our guys bounced back. They've been resilient about doing that and getting ready to try to play the next one, and we're in a tough stretch right now, so we better bounce back and get focused and get ready to play, because this team beat San Jose pretty well, and so we're going to have to play good to put ourselves in a position to have a chance. You don't compare scores because games get going certain ways, and that's impossible to do. And each time you face somebody, you have the uniqueness of their defense and their offense that maybe matching up with is a little bit different than another one. So you got to be careful about doing that. But I think it's a natural inclination to kind of look and see how people play people and say, okay, how do we stack up, or where does that stack up? But probably different from fans. We don't probably put a whole lot into that for the most part, because, you know, who you play, when you play, where you play them, and who's healthy, who's not, changes all the dynamics of things like that. We were good last Saturday. You know, I think it was, we always figure our hidden yardage, like where our starting point is, and punt return, kickoff return, and I think it was 173 yards of what we call hidden yardage that we gained in the kicking game. And you know, Andy had a great return. I still don't know how he did that. I thought he was down 3 or 4 times. In fact, I lost him in the mass of bodies, so I think twice, and all of a sudden here he comes squirting out and going again. It was about as fine a punt return as I've seen in a long, long time. I thought he was going to take it to the house for a minute. Japhas had a good kickoff return. I mean, our return game has stayed reasonably solid. They kicked 2 of them out of bounds, I think, trying to kick, you know, into territories maybe that hurt our return, and so we got them at the 35. That was good. made our field goals. Really, in the 19 games that we've been here, our kicking game for the most part has been pretty solid all the time. I think out of the 19, we maybe could find one or two where we didn't have a plus in the kicking game in yardage or different things like that. Now we've had a game where we missed some field goals and stuff like that, but for the most part, our kicking game since we've been here has been, knock on wood, pretty solid.
Solid, and in some games excellent.
Yeah, and some games it's been a difference maker for us. You know, I think part of our success offensively sometimes is we get a takeaway for a decent field position, or we get a kick return, either a punt or a kickoff return, where we get the ball out in decent field position and shorten the field for ourselves a little bit. And we've done that a number of times this year. That's given us opportunities.
1, 2, 3,